What is up, WoW Talkers, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm bringing you some awesome news. Blizzard has finally broke their silence regarding Classic WoW. We finally have an update regarding the development of World of Warcraft Classic. As most of you may know, it's been 8 months since the announcement of Classic WoW at BlizzCon, and we were aching to have any form of news regarding Classic WoW. Well, we finally have some news. First, I'm going to focus on some points in this developer update, tell you what I think and what I'm concerned about. So the developer update states the following. The first and among the most important decisions we had to make was which version of the game to focus on. As many of you have noted, the classic period was 2 years long and full of changes. Core features like battlegrounds were introduced in patches after WoW's original launch, and class design similarly changed over time. After careful consideration, we decided on patch 1.12 Drums of War as our foundation, because it represents the most complete version of the classic experience. So what exactly does this mean? Does this mean that we will be having patch 1.12 right at the beginning? We don't know, and I hope not. When they say that patch 1.12 is being used as a foundation, this could mean anything. If they were to launch patch 1.12 right away, this poses a lot of problems. This means that the leveling experience will change, the itemization will be different, and a lot of the earlier content will be redundant, including raids and their difficulties. I'm sure that a lot of you have enough knowledge to know what I'm talking about, and I really don't need to go into much details on why this would be extremely troublesome. They mentioned that patch 1.12 represents the most complete version of the classic experience. Now, if what they mean by that is that playing patch 1.12 from the get-go means that you've experienced Classic WoW, then I heavily disagree. Progression and evolution is a huge part of an MMORPG, and it was a major part of Classic WoW. In fact, it is a major part of every expansion in World of Warcraft. Nobody can deny that the start of Legion was a different experience than the end of Legion. Nobody can deny that the start of Wrath of the Lich King was different than the end of it. Progression is a major part of World of Warcraft as a whole. Speaking of vanilla specifically, the experience that players have in every patch was entirely different for the most part. Experiencing Classic WoW means that you go through its ups and its downs. It means that you go through all the balance changes that happened. It means that you go through all the buffs and all the nerfs that the game had throughout its time. But if you release patch 1.12, then the only thing that you're going to be experiencing is a specific version of Classic WoW. You can't call it an authentic classic experience when you're only playing a specific part of that classic game. Using patch 1.12 as a foundation in terms of allowing all the content such as battlegrounds and the honor system to work without bugs and glitches is actually a good thing. If you want to make sure that every piece of content that was in classic to run as intended, then you do need a patch 1.12 that is ready to run. This will help Blizzard release content smoothly without any bugs or issues if they choose the progression path. I think the best example of a classic server is Nostalrius. Everyone loved that concept of progression servers. The fact that they were able to experience every change vanilla went through was simply beautiful. It's what the classic community asked for, and it's what they enjoyed. Does it take much more work to develop every patch of vanilla WoW than to just release 1.12? Absolutely. But that would not matter if the developers of Classic WoW were truly passionate about the game. Now, the final thing that I want to mention is changes. Ever since the announcement of Classic WoW, the forums have turned into a battlefield where people were asking for changes and people asking for no changes. People wanted LFR, LFD, transmogs, achievements, and class balancing, while others wanted nothing added or removed from Classic. Well, it seems like there will be no changes to Classic WoW. Why do I say so? Because a developer update states the following. So we asked ourselves, would it still be possible to deliver an authentic classic experience if we took our modern code with all its backend improvements and changes and use it to process the patch 1.12 game data? While that might seem counterintuitive, this would inherently include classic systems like skill ranks, old quests and terrain, talents, and so on, while later features like transmog and achievements would effectively not exist because they were entirely absent from the data. This is quite reassuring to me, as I honestly do not want any changes, but some people say this doesn't mean that there will be no changes, since the developer update also says, additional improvements will include modern anti-cheat/botting detection, customer service, and Battle.net integration, and similar conveniences that do not affect the core gameplay experience. Now, I don't think that this means we might have changes in classic WoW gameplay. I believe that this is talking about technical changes which will allow classic WoW to run on modern engines and to generally be compatible with all the new hardware systems. Transmogs and achievements really do not affect the core gameplay of vanilla in my opinion, but don't get me wrong, I actually believe that transmogs and achievements do ruin the experience of World of Warcraft, but they do not change the core gameplay. So why not include them in Classic WoW if they do not affect the core gameplay of vanilla? To me, it's obvious that Classic WoW will be exactly what it was, and I'm positive that there will be no changes. Honestly guys, I really don't want a Franken patch for Classic WoW. There was no Franken patch in vanilla WoW, so why should there be one in Classic WoW? What we had was patch 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and so on. So this is what we should be getting to get the full classic experience. That itself is the authentic classic experience. Anyways, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't like the video, give it a dislike. If you look forward to more content in the future, then subscribe. If you don't look forward to more content in the future, then don't subscribe. Have a good day, night, morning, wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Peace.